Yo, what's cracking, everybody? I'm Connor G Power, and I'm here back again with a new video. Yes, this video did take a long time to end up making. I was actually supposed to post this immediately, today, after I made the damn poll. So it kind of was immediately supposed to be posted for that, but then random gave me an idea. We was doing the collab since we was pushing it back a little bit too far, but yeah, pretty much this will be part one of whatever Deku was Gaara, and I'll explain this in the way that I kind of should have and kind of wanted to do the pain with it in the first place. Give me a second. If you see hear noise, that's yeah. All right, so we basically how I'm gonna explain the whole entire him being Gaara, aka the reincarnation. Well, Gaara is basically being reincarnated, but it's more or less that is Gaara. So explain like this. I didn't want to do Ken Gaara because me and Random basically come to the conclusion that first of all he'd be fucking crazy and we kind of don't want him to go around killing people unless it was then I'll be kind of like a villain to or anti-hero to hero thing or a villain to hero thing, so we kind of didn't want that. At least not we, but it was more or less a me thing. He was basically just giving me ideas about the what if. So yeah, reason why I came to the conclusion to do Boruto Gaara, and the reason why I'm not adding Tamari or Kankuro, because kind of don't want to have to deal with those dilemmas either. So yeah, that's the thing. Give me a second. Alright, so basically the reason why I want to take it with Boruto Gaara is because first of all he has experience, and the reason why I'm adding him with Shukaku is because basically he anyway, only reason I'm adding it'll be a bit different. Reason why I did it like this is because I kind of wanted to be a diversion from the way other people do their Garwoodifs. Because mostly either okay, it's basically giving Deku Magna release, allowing him to move sand and shit, which I can understand is cool, whatever. But and then that basically in turn gives him the sand shield thingy. So yeah, but whatever. I'm gonna make it. It's best that I jump into. Oh, one more thing before I actually jump into it. So it won't be an abandoned series. I kind of don't want to do that yet. I'll probably do it in the future, but this is more or less of Gaara dealing with so he's an adult. He's way more mature than ideally most people he's around. So and he's way smarter. So he'll start kind of like a prodigy, I guess you can say it. Um, so borderline will be interesting to basically think of and think about. Feedback is greatly supported and initialized if it's just obviously if it has some type of merit to it, it isn't just blatant I don't like it, then I won't respond to it and ask for people that give me actual suggestions and shit like that. You people I like because I can actually bounce off of you and we can start throwing ideas at each other and getting a central conciseness of how the what if should go. I like people like that, and to people it'll take like this. I'll explain like this before I jump in. I don't see you guys as random people. I'm seeing more of you guys as when I ask for feedback and comments and shit like that. It's important because it gives me more of a conciseness of what you guys want to see. Yes, it's about this what if channel isn't about what ifs per se. It's more or less a back catalog of what ifs I can watch in the further future as a time capsule, something like that. So while I'm in my sophomore year of high school right now. So say I'm in my when I get my senior year, I can jump back to this and be like, damn, I came very far, or whatever. So yeah. But nonetheless, let's jump into this whatever. So the way Gar basically dies is I'll say old age, but and then he basically meets Bishop Sage and fucking die. We'll say he meets the Sage of Six Paths because it's a god of the universe, and we'll say he gets reincarnated, but Gar really didn't show any due to it was mostly him focused on his Magna release. So we'll say he gets transferred to an alternate dimension of sorts, or we'll say this: Macadamia Universe is basically the future of this. It's just very elevated in chakra. It's more of a deep evolution of basically what chakra was pretty much, and basically evolutionized into quirks. So yes, there are most of the knowledge of the villages and shit like that is basically gone. Now we have countries and shit well they already had countries, but actual deep shit America, shit like that. Basically, just stuff like that. The ninja world is basically gone. All their motives and shit like that is basically gone. Basically, when Gaara basically gets reincarnated, he basically sees. I'll call him Gaara, but just know his name is Izuku. So when I say Gaara, we'll say it's a nickname that basically everyone fucking calls him or something across those lines. Where no, we'll just call him Garra. Okay, they'll basically ask what Inko basically wants to name him, and like she kind of gets a temptation to just name him Gaara and whatever. And meanwhile, while he's like being born or whatever, like come out the come out the movie, bro. So basically, it's like he isn't as like he was born like in canon, where he's like basically Gaara was a premature baby, so like he was like as small as like a fucking hand when he came out. So like, yeah. Anyway, so basically Deku Gaara kind of when he was born, he's kind of confused more or less. Like he understands that he's gonna get reborn, but like all the stuff he's seeing, like high tech as medical equipment and shit like that, he's kind of confused. Like yeah, they end up having that like at the end of his lifespan, but it was like this damn event, so, like it was decent. Like so he gets like it's not as weird for him, but like it's still like a weird concept to like be around and like deal with or whatever. Um, yeah. So more or less, the I'm trying not to say basically. So more or less, Gara basically like goes through his basically adolescent years of basically end up turning two, and Inko kind of sees that like he's produced like going through like a lot of like baby stages. So like meanwhile, like he's starting to like walk and like stuff like that, and he shows signs of like a quirk, which isn't really a quirk, but they say okay, I'll say it like this. We'll wait until he turns four. It's not really relevant at this point. We'll say like she sees like kind of like when he's like around like the sandbox and shit like that. Like she kind of sees that he like enjoys to be around sand. Way more calmer and like way more like level headed when he's around sand. So she gives him like basically like you know like the jug goblet that like is in like this picture of like the background and whatever. Basically a jug goblet of like sand that he can basically like that he plays with daily, but it's more or less kind of like right now it's not as big. It'll be like more. This would be like more of a material costume. It's not as practical, so you don't want to go around with a big ass jug goblet on your back. So it's more or less like think of in the fourth grade ninja where like the little goblet that he had with him, kind of like that. So, but like a little bit bigger. Like it's a decent size. Like think of like an averagely sized computer screen that's like that big. So it's a well, enough saying like he packs it in that bitch. So like whatever. And meanwhile, like when like Gara basically goes to sleep like that, like they're him and Gara, like him and like Shikaka are having like full on conversation shit like that. They're really talking, and like I'll say like we'll skip like a little flashback to like the first time Gara and he sees Shikaka. He's like he basically sucks Shikaka. And basically, I'm like, bro, this is kind of crazy though. He's what do you mean? Well, think about it. I'll say all the other tail beasts are like kind of like in Naruto, but like Naruto is like he's like not like how do I explain this? Like he's I'll say the tail beasts are like more or less like since they kind of got tired of sealed away like everybody like all the nations ended up agreeing that like they wouldn't be sealed anybody anymore. It's like they kind of like since like they saw that like obviously over time that she was like the knowledge of stuff was deteriorating. They decided to like just seal away all the stuff like seals and shit like that. So like basically like, they know like certain people know how to do seals, but like not seal. I won't say it like that, but let's say they have some basic central knowledge of how seals work, but it's more or less the knowledge of seals is more or less like forgotten. You feel me? So more or less, fucking God, shut up. So basically, Gar's basically going through his life just talking to Chicago and stuff like that. He's like, we're all the Toby said, well, he basically explains like, well, it seems like Kurama and like he basically starts like naming like basically all the Tobys and like saying whatever they are, like they kind of like down below, like they kind of like kind of like living like since they really don't like feel like they still like feel pain and shit like that, but like they kind of just I'll say they're kind of just like they end up reuniting with like the Sage of Six Paths eventually after like Naruto died, like their chakras, but like their souls and stuff like that, like they're kind of with the Sage of Six Paths, like their chakra is kind of like it got reunited with them after Naruto ended up dying from old age. So like yeah, I'm not gonna explain anything about Boruto or Kawaki or anything like that because like I don't. Not that I don't hate Boruto. Like not that I hate Boruto. It's more or less I haven't watched Boruto as much because I like watching dub. But like I kind of don't like his dub voice as much. So I'm trying to eventually I'm gonna watch it in sub. But like that's like not important right now. Anyway, so in a sense, well, in a sense, Gaara basically goes around his adolescent years up until he turns 4. So image they end up seeing like his jug goblet, like the sand that comes out of it starts surrounding him. Like he understands that there's like supposed to be like a quirk. He's researched stuff and stuff like that. He got more knowledge on like how like he has knowledge on how computer technology basically works or whatever. But like she kind of wasn't with that shit. And yeah, I mean he is kind of like not sad or more or less because he saw like how his adoptive son basically grew up and shit like that. So basically, Gaara go through his basic adult life up until he turns 4. So we'll skip to that. So Gaara, when he turns 4, they see that the sand, like little pouch thing that he carries a lot, well, more like the goblet of sand that he carries, is more or less has like, is like, has like, I would say a beast, but no, I'll say it's like it goes around like, and then she ended up taking him to the quirk doctor one day, and they see that like he can manipulate sand. So they was like, oh, bet sand manipulation. They didn't really even check for the bones. They like, I mean, sand manipulation is kind of obvious. Of course, he has a quirk because they wouldn't really suspect it to be anything else. And even if, I'll say even if they did look, it would look. I don't kind of want to deal with that. And like I'll say like his quirk doesn't get taken because who the fuck wants sand manipulation? Like you don't understand that. Like you have to have sand around you unless you're fighting on a damn beach or something. They see it's kind of useless, but like they say that he has like a goblet of sand. Like that's kind of like a useful thing. They say like if you want to use your quirk, you just try to carry that sand. But like I'll say since like he has Shukaku, that's like a lot of sand to use. You feel me? So anyway, so basically we'll skip to more or less like him going back to like for sure it's primary no or kindergarten, one of those. And when he gets back, they have his quirk. He said I have sand manipulation, and Baku already unlocked this quirk. And like I was, well, how should I do this? Because like, I don't want Baku to be like a dick, but like we'll say he's coolish. Because almost every other what if of Gaara that was, he's a little dick. So like we'll change it up a little bit. So basically, I'll say Gaara or for say Gaara when we're like friends, like they were trying to get like tarnished. Cause, like he sees that he has a quirk and that's pretty powerful. He's like, well, at first he was like, well, what can that sand be used for? He's like, well, I can do this. And he makes like large sand spikes. Like he makes like contra like some Green Lantern shit, just out of like sand and stuff like that. And they see this and like, damn, bro, that's pretty cool. Cause like decently powerful, what you can do with sand, like especially if you add like fire. If you had a fucking fire, bro, damn, you can make glass and just shoot glass shards there. Like, amazing. I'm already thinking abilities. So basically, and I'll say he's in a class with Jiro because like I want to build a relationship somehow, and I'll say her, Bakugo, and Deku are like kind of like think of it as a trio group or whatever. So basically, Deku or whatever, like he's basically like Bakugo kind of sees that they have like a relationship of sorts with each other, and like he sees like since they've been so friends, and like he kind of just want to impede on that. So like Jiro kind of like shows in her adolescent years that she kind of likes him, but like it's more or less like I would do a tsundere, but like that's kind of for like um pain what if that's like her Hotel Mojo, so I kind of don't impede on that. So fuck everybody gotta talk when I'm making a video. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Fuck. I have to go deal with something that kind of just fucking pissed me off and threw me off my mojo. So fucking basically Deku, I mean Gaara, Jiro, and Bakugo. Basically, their whole entire mojo is basically them being sort of kind of a group. Since Bakugo actually has people that like set him fucking straight most of the time, so he's not as much of a dick than he would be in canon. I guess I'm taking a fucking shower. All right, so basically, as we basically comes in the year, Bakugo basically sees their overall relationship and see how it's growing, and he kind of respects it, cause like, yeah, he's not, so cause he's more focused on him getting like stronger or whatever, and not much of him being a meathead. He's more mellowed out more or less, so he's kind of he's serious when he be serious, but like he's him when he needs to be. You feel me? So it's more of one of those type of people. Same thing with kind of Garra. Like, yeah, he's mellowed out more that he spent his time with his mother and actually he had a chance to basically like family. But as we basically skip to him being at least like 14 or so, I'll say no, not 14 or so. We basically skip to him being like 13 or so. His mom ends up leaving to basically she basically sits him down for a talk. Says that like although we are because they know that he has a very decently powerful quirk, so he most likely would be a hero, something like that. So she basically like sits him down, basically talks to him, basically telling him like she'll be basically try to look for all basically the same thing that he'll be working overseas. She'll be working overseas. Say she will be working overseas for a while. Basically the same thing his fucking dad does, and he's like never like he's only seen his dad over like video call. And let's say Inko has red hair and his has like black hair, but like he got more of his features from like his mom. He doesn't have like the whole fucking freckles thing, cause that would be weird looking on Gaara. And he kind of has like Gaara's like eyes, where he doesn't have fucking eyebrows. Um, I kind of should mention that he has a tattoo thing, but I fucking forgot what the hell the tattoo thing meant. Like, I know he wasn't like just straight up like born with it. At least I don't think so. Yeah. So, basically, over time, basically she's basically just talking to him about like she's gonna be overseas with like basically his dad, and basically like they're gonna bring income, and they know that he's like way more mature because like it's fucking dumb. I'm pretty sure he understands like the general meaning of like money and shit like that. So yeah, that's really like not like a necessity or anything like that. So basically he understands like it has to be done or whatever, like, and that it like has to damn happen. So anyway, so basically after basically the talk, she only says that because she was planning to basically like, leave, because basically she was planning to leave that night. And when he hears this, he like dude's like kind of sad, but he still like understands it nonetheless. So yeah, and yeah, basically that's the general sense of it. Goddamn. So yeah, like borderline after basically that altercation happens, like Garra, like he doesn't seem sad, but he's like he still enjoyed like the company of like his mother nonetheless. You feel me? So, but he understands that like yeah, he wasn't like alone. Like he had like his fucking son, but like that's kind of gone now because like he's well past dead. um, so basically, Garra like has like basically he kind of just does his thing. Like he kind of just lives his fucking life doing his own thing. Like yeah, like people like at school, like, even Bakugo, and like sometimes like even like some of the teachers and stuff like that kind of see that he seems like not he usually would be, because like his fucking mom going like yeah, he talked to his dad, but like they didn't have like the best relationship. Like his dad seemed like a great guy. He's not saying that he hates him or anything, but it's still like the human connection that he like needs. So for that, I'm answering dorm systems like way fucking early than I really need to. Um, I most likely will stop at the entry exam because that's like my borderline. Like either 30 minutes or it'll be like 29 minutes more or less. If I'm talking a bit too fast, it's because I'm kind of want to get this over with because I need to situate myself with some stuff. And yeah, um, I'll post tomorrow and Wednesday, but I'm not posting on the 19th or Friday because that's like a me day, and that's kind of if I get what I think I'm getting for my birthday. So yeah. But anyway, so basically, not Deku, fucking Gaara, basically is like basically living his life. And like I'll say, basically Gaara basically is like no Bakugo basically walks up to him like, hey, like him, and like she basically sees that he's like, yeah, my sorry for the cut part. Or so basically, they kind of see that he's like not like off than he usually would be, but like he seems sadder. But like basically, they basically ask like what's wrong with him. He basically like explains it that like his mom basically like left, and she's basically working overseas, so like basically making money. And it says, oh, why would she do that? He says, well, basically she saw it as if like I was mature enough. He says, but you know you are, right? He says, yeah, no doubt, but it's still a factor of it. Like, I kind of don't be alone, you feel me? So, like, they understand or whatever, and like, that's pretty much it for that. And I'll probably end it off here. You can see this as a part zero because I kind of got stuff to do later, and I'm pretty much going to end it off here. So, yeah, bye.